Hello, everyone. Happy Election Tuesday, and may the world come to an end. All right, we'll see. We'll see if we can survive it. And if you're out of the U.S., you still get to deal with it because this turmoil is not going away. Good morning, McRangers. Thank you for putting in the earnings. Yes, Palantir was, or Planter Peanuts was a beat. I'm not going to cover all of them. There were a lot of minor things, but thank you for putting them in, Sterling. I super appreciate it every morning. Good morning, by the way. Wonderful. They got to build up this nuclear force to counter. Who thinks this is all going to end well? Just everything. Can we be done with this fourth turning already? How many more years of the fourth turning do we have? I want to turn it off. Oh boy. Trump is now leading Kamala Harris by 18 percentage points on Kalshi. That's one of them. What else do we have? We know who Sterling voted for because he is tweet. I'm still going to call it Twitter. He tweeted out his ballot vote. DC. Yes. Did you see all the boarding up? Did you see all the boarding up of DC? It looks like a hurricane's going to hit there. What else do we have? Yeah, they're already saying foreign. The Russians are coming. Good morning, John. Oh boy. Good morning, Patrick. What else? Who else is here? More earnings? Oh, Yum. I guess they need to change their symbol from Yum because it was a miss, so it was not that yummy. Redbook coming in super strong this morning. I literally do not believe any numbers anymore. I don't believe it. Versus what I'm seeing and talking to people, I do not believe any numbers. But doesn't matter. You got to trade what is. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Jake. IRBT, just remind me. Yeah, we got the booms. We got the booms. Love the fireball. We got, yeah, I love the, I paired it up. See, this sums up today. I had to get things working again, but you got the duck. We got the duck. And then, uh oh, that sums up today. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Charles. I just want there's not a lot of analysis. Literally, from my perspective, today is one of those days from a short term. Unless with something shocking comes out, we get momentum either way. I wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch it. Some days are just better to take off and manage longer term positions. Go vote if you haven't voted already and you're in the USA. If you're not a citizen, don't vote because you can't. Well, you can because they'll allow you to, but don't. All right. All right. Where do we sit? We already had Redbook come in. We have import and export data, balance of trade. Today, I mean, you're going to hear the exit polls. You're going to hear all the pundits talk about this, that, the other thing, trying to still influence stuff. You know what I also think? There should be a shutdown on media till all polling places are closed. You can't. I don't think you should have exit polls. I don't think you should have anything. I think it should be like a blackout. A, it should be a national holiday. B, there should be a blackout. You can't report on the election until all polling places are closed. Period. That would make the day a lot better and let people just go vote. But that's not happening. Hey, Kalani, good morning. Hawaii for Trump. All right, Kalani's Hawaii for Trump. Good morning, Heinrich. Hope you've been well, Kalani. Hope you can still tune in. I know you can't make it all the time on the live stream like when it's live, but I hope you're still watching some of them when you have the chance. All right, we got the S&P Global Composite and Services coming out 15 minutes after the cash open, and then the ISM numbers coming out at 10. Then it's all quiet besides the election. Pay attention because ISM Services popped last time pretty bigly. Pretty bigly. So watch where this is. And remember, above 50 is still expanding. So just gauge it via the previous, because we saw prices pop up in manufacturing goods too. New orders expanding for services. Employment still in contraction. So employment in contraction, but price is expanding. So those are the things I'd really be watching because the headline numbers, not going to tell us much. Watch those subcomponents. 30 minutes after the cash open, and then it's all election coverage. It, I I cannot remember enough. I mean, election day, what is every 4 years for a president? I just don't trade them. I don't trade them. I mean, the only thing I do is if there's stuff I have to manage or update with stops or update something, hit key targets. This is a day that I would personally recommend. You can always take a day off, but I don't want to miss anything. You know what? You're not going to catch every trade anyways. And these are the days that it can just be all over the place. And I don't trade all over the place. Now, I assume it would be much lower volume. I cannot cite the last few elections. I'd have to go look them up to say the exact number, but I believe generally they are lower volume. Ted agrees, a media blackout. Yeah, we should just, give them all the day off. Give them all the day off. We don't need to hear what they say anyways most of the time. And that's not partisan. I think most media is garbage. You have everything mixed to slightly up this morning. If you look at the groups, let's just do a quick refresh. But everything except healthcare is up. Everything except healthcare is up today. So not a lot. I mean, energy is leading. You still have crude popping. Industrials, financial. Nothing really outpacing stuff. You still got for Thursday. Remember, the Fed meeting is shifted till Thursday. We have a 96% chance of a 25 basis point cut. We're officially back in fear mode. And the dirt cheap markets are still not dirt cheap. Doesn't matter though. I mean, a lot of this stuff, Sterling, again, thank you for putting in all the earnings stuff, but there just wasn't anything going to be market moving. It's going to be interesting from a humor standpoint to see Supermicro's results after the close, to see what they put out there. Remember, when your auditor resigns, who knows what they're going to put out there. Tomorrow morning, which we probably won't know, unless this is a complete blowout that's beyond all games, I don't think we're going to know the results tomorrow. Who here thinks we're going to know the results of the election tomorrow or even late tonight? But you got CVS, you got Toyota, but nothing that's going to be market moving again tomorrow. And it's all going to trade off this election anyways. No Bush, Biden, or Clinton on official 2024 ballot for the first time since 1976. Isn't that scary? Isn't that scary? You can't wait to see Florida count all their votes before Pennsylvania is even close, even though Florida has twice the population. Time to learn from other states that do things well at this point. Did you see also? So there's just not much to talk about with the markets. I mean, did you see they're already saying that Nevada could take a week? How many people live in friggin' Nevada? How can it take a week? Another. It's mind blowing to me. It'll take days at least. Yeah, I saw that. Who was posting that? Yeah, inflation has made a child care into a luxury. I saw that on Twitter yesterday. Child care prices are up 873, massively outpacing other major cost of living categories. Did you see? I'm just going to chat with you guys. We'll go through a couple of things that I'm looking at, but pay attention to yesterday's high and low. Technically, if we break through yesterday's high, it would be a percent beat buy with a follow through close. Do with that what you want. By comparison, housing, food, and transportation inflation has risen 350, 332, and 268. What's healthcare gone up? Did you see what the cost if you had to pay out of pocket to have a child now is a regular birth, not a C-section or anything else, is $66,000 in this country. To friggin' just if you had to pay for having a kid, that is absolutely outrageous. That's essentially a commodity. Childbirth, unless there's something strange about it, or it has to be a C-section, but even a C-section shouldn't cost 26,000. I mean 66,000. $66,000. Our healthcare is also another thing that's completely out of control. Completely out of control. And can we get rid of all these drug commercials? Please. There are so many diseases I've never heard of, and you're advertising don't advertise straight to the consumer. Geez, the consumer knows what the best drug to choose is. Not that I'm trusting any doctors to do it either. Yeah, there goes the channel again. Can't talk about this kind of stuff. Oh well, sorry. Again, you got what's interesting is you do have cycles back to the bottom of the Nasdaq. What was the percent B yesterday? Minus 0.02. So again, technically. And this is one I might be watching more so after, if we rally up and then continue, if we follow through with a close with cycles at the bottom, could be interesting. Could be interesting. But how are the markets going to react? I don't even know. I mean, if Trump is going to win, or is that going to be a hooray for the markets, or is that going to be a, oh, crap? And I think if Harris were to win, like Wall Street would celebrate. No, it's not. I'll go through that in a minute. So my advice, if you're going to try to do something, is watch yesterday's high and lows for support and resistance. The Dow, again, there's not much. It's stalled out on this latest harmonic. We just have to update that. You can see, it's not the neckline. This harmonic. There we go. And we're still letting the other thing play out. So I have to go to a pausing bar. If you're trying to learn the harmonics, this is a pausing bar because the low did not touch it. And a proper pausing bar is a reverse color or at least a doji. So that refines my next key little area to 41,586 to 41,660. Russell, again, there's not much to talk about, so we're not going to. The VIX, not much to talk about. The DAX, still. The only thing is if the DAX continues, it has not yet closed below. I have to check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 2 more days for this to trigger until it's off the table. If you're trying to learn the rule of thumb, just the rule of thumb, it's got 2 more days. If it doesn't, it's off. So Thursday, Fed day. Notes, still rotation zone. So coming up to 8 EMA and the prior key resistance area and rotating down, but still, this is caught in a sideways correction. And yields, still catch on the rotation zone, rotating up. Is there a fantastic pattern now in here? No. Now, if we do rotate back up and then put in a potential double top, that's something I will pay attention to. Dollar index, we'll get to gold in a second. Dollar index, I'm still watching to see, make sure 103 area holds. 103.20 actually. 103.20 with daily cycles back to the bottom. By the way, if dollar reverses and closes above yesterday's high, it is a percent beat buy. I'll be watching more so to see what we happen tomorrow. Crude, continue to come up to my very key resistance area with cycles getting back to the top, but not topping yet. Again, we're still waiting on the Iran response against Israel. And then to see what happens with that and then what Israel's going to respond with. Because this is not going away. Does anyone else not see peace happening anytime soon in the Middle East? but it's just trailing at this point with the percent B buy. The only thing that makes me longer term bullish is that we got to get back above 74. Otherwise, I will be watching for some kind of topping pattern to show up, potentially up here, but nothing yet. Here's your gold. Gold is not, once I get the chart looking right, this is not a potential double anymore. It's turned into a channeling. So that is not key. The key area, if you're trying to front run this, I'd be looking at about 27.66. If you're trying to front run a bounce move. If you want to be really aggressive, I'd be looking at 27.57. Those are the only two levels I'd be using. Other than that, the double is off the table. So there is your answer. The bigger picture still with gold, back in the rotation zone. Based off of here, if it does close above yesterday's high, it would be a rotation zone and a percent B buy. So if you're looking for more of a swing thing, I'd be paying attention to yesterday's high. And by the way, just for a little tip with the exact rules for percent Bs, let's say this triggers. Normally the stop would go below the bar of the highest probability tested stop would go below the bar of the percent B bar. But if the next bar is lower and then triggers the percent B, the stop has to go below that bar. So if this were to trigger a percent B buy, okay, the stop would have to go below this bar. That's the technical stop level. Just let you know. Hope RFK Jr. to clean up healthcare. Healthcare is just such a disaster. Such a disaster. So that's a little tip for the percent B stuff in there. Again, paying attention to this in the short term. Watching this with cycles getting back to the bottom, technically it would be a percent B buy above yesterday's high also. But we're working off very overbought, getting cycles back to the bottom with a sideways correction. But nothing else to do. There's just not a whole lot to do yet. Euro, still trying to turn back up. I'm considering these targets hit. You know what? The next target area for me to watch would be about this 109.40 area. But cycles back to the top on the euro. Spiders, same thing. Watch yesterday's high and low. That's really about it for the spiders. I'm going to repeat the same thing for the Qs. Watch yesterday's high and low. The Qs also, but a close on even a 4-hour close above 490.75 does trigger a little mini double bottom pattern. What did you want me to look at? Where was it? Oh boy, now I got to scroll all the way back through here. IRBT. The iRobot. Well, this would not be looking to initiate a new position here unless it was initiated on a breakout yesterday, and then this would definitely be an area to raise the stop because your rollover zone's up here, so the only thing for the bull case is a follow-through close above 110.59. Other than that, your key support's coming back at 870. Now it is coming into earnings today. So that's really going to determine it. If it kisses below, if it breaks, if they have bad earnings and it's below 774, would not touch it anymore from any bull case. Even if we really start dropping below 870, I would not touch it anymore. But at least it hasn't broken down. The key level, if you're in it from the bull side, is again on any pop above the 200 and the 50% harmonic, would be it's got to get it back above 1059. So it's just your earnings gamble. Your big earnings gamble, and what kind of market this is. I mean, the last one was a miss. This one's still negative earnings, so it's really going to depend on your revenue. Your revenue figure last time was 166 million. This time they're projecting 218. So if this does miss on revenue, I'd watch out. All right, what else do we have? We got the old good old Bitcoin. Bitcoin, interestingly enough, above yesterday's high would also be a percent beat buy. It's got to follow through with a close above yesterday's high. The only thing that was concerning with Bitcoin is it really broke the key support level, and it technically closed below the rotation zone, so it really has to redeem itself with a high. Now cycle with a close above yesterday's high because cycles are at the bottom. And by the way, if this was, here's exactly how I like to play these things. If it closed above the high, my first key target area to at least raise a stop would be, I'd actually raise a stop right around 72.05. Why there? Because you had a very key candle close there and it's a 50% harmonic. That would at least be to raise a stop closer to around 67,500. Again, not giving trading advice, just showing how I would play this. And then the next follow through has to be 71.059 because a close above there, then we could make the run. That really solidifies making the run to retest at highs and possibly break out again. So that's exactly how I look at it. If it doesn't close above yesterday's high, it's nothing doing. And again, it's still riskier because you got the election going on. Nvidia, not much to talk about there. Tesla, not much to talk about there. Keep an eye on Tesla with the 235 level. What else? Here's your Palantir. Here is your Palantir using the next key levels. What are their I mean, this is absurd. Yeah, they're expanding still, but look at their P to E 246. We're still in buy it all. So let's see what the targets are. 40, 48, 47.85, and then above that's 51. But that's where we stand. Let's look at the weekly there. Whew. Taking out the all-time highs. $322 million. Yeah. But that's, you got to hold your nose and buy that one. Can I take a relook at HAS on the weekly? Is the double bottom still in play? Sure. Let's take a look. Yes, it is. The double bottom is still in play. I believe, oh, hold on. No, it's not. It violated the rule. Sorry, it is not in play anymore. Again, let's just count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's do this on a monthly. Here we go. This will be easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it is not. If you're using the rule of thumb, it is not. Haas Racing Team is not. For the Formula One, I'm joking. It's Hasbro, but I love to see HAS, and I think Formula One. So yes, that is not off the table. That is off the table. So what does that mean? You still have, let's just clarify something here. Let me pull off one of these sets of older levels. Let me clarify something here. Now, I would still be watching this 74 area. Why? Because if you break above there, you break above the weekly 200. You're just not going to use double targets. So if this were to find a base, it's still trying to hold key support, but it'd rotate back up and get above 74. So if there's any front run pattern, I'd use 74 as the first target area. And then area would actually be about 73.50. And then my next target would be 82. A close above 82, my full target would be 97. Those would be how the targets would be structured. I think a Trump win will boost Tesla in space, a Trump loss, and they will crater. I would see especially Tesla cratering. But see, why would you see Tesla isn't part of it? We're getting rid of the EV stuff. That does not benefit Tesla. I think it's the whole Elon factor. 1.5 to 2K per month per kid for childcare is typical in multiple states. I've lived in some states much more. How can people afford to have kids anymore? People can't afford to have kids anymore. Unless you're here illegally and it's all paid for. Well, yeah, great. Let's all leave the country and come back illegally. Get more benefits than you do here. Oh, well. With that, we'll peek at the open. We'll peek at the open. Very strong resistance at this 57.58 level. Very strong resistance there. Look at that. Look at this. Strong support becoming strong resistance. Where'd the tick open? Slight. Not much to report with the tick. This is why, again, I'd be really cautious unless you're trying to play some support resistance again. Oh, well. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. By the way, if it does break above here, I can really keep an eye on yesterday's high. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see what we know tomorrow morning. Hope everyone gets out, if you haven't voted already, gets out and voted today if you're in the USA. And we'll see how this all turns out. Until then, I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.